This is QTV Nightly News. I'm Umudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. In today's session of the 2025 legislative year, the National Assembly ratified the mutual visa exemption agreement for holders of diplomatic and service passports between the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates. The Gambia government, in collaboration with the World Bank, held a national consultation and stakeholders engagement forum as part of the Gambia Infrastructure Project. In our latest court cases roundup, we bring you the latest on the death sentence handed to Yankuba Toure and the case involving the man accused of shooting to death 2 PIU officers and wounding another. We hear from Ibrahim Abba, a Backway returnee who says his harrowing experience after embarking on a perilous journey in search of better opportunities abroad. In international news, the Ecowas Parliament opens its first extraordinary session and first parliamentary session for 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria on Monday. Those were the news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. In today's session of the 2025 legislative year, the National Assembly ratified the mutual visa exemption agreement for holders of diplomatic and service passports between the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates. Following this, a heated debate ensued, with some National Assembly members advocating visa exemptions for ordinary passport holders, particularly business people. Usman Jatta reports.
Dr. Mamadou Tangara, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, presented a motion for the National Assembly members' NAMs to consider and ratify the mutual visa exemption agreement for holders of diplomatic and service passports between the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates. In his presentation, Minister Tangara highlighted that the exemption would ease travel for Gambian diplomats and government officials to the UAE, fostering stronger collaboration in trade, tourism and investment.
By exempting holders of diplomatic and service passports from visa requirements will not only facilitate smoother diplomatic exchanges, but also foster greater cooperation and collaboration in various fields, including trade, culture, and education. It facilitates easier exchange of ideas, expertise, and resources between the two nations.
While most members of the National Assembly welcomed the motion, some expressed concerns about the broader implications of the agreement, including possible abuse. Others questioned whether the exemption could be extended to other categories of Gambian citizens and how the agreement might affect the country's visa policy in the future. Some of the National Assembly members who contributed to the debate included Keba T. Sane, Nam for Fonyi Jarol, Suleiman Jame, Nam for Bundunga Kunda, and Lamin Sise, Nam for Kiang West.
Ordinary passport holders, when they also travel, remember they also contribute to our economy. So why would we want to keep them here when we cannot give them jobs? We don't want them to travel. I think it's better, it's an opportunity for them also to travel outside.
I think we need them more than they need us, economically. So for that being the case, hence the ministry is trying to bring such motions here. I think we also need to work as a country, or who should we give diplomatic passport and service passport? Because today, you have so many Gambians who are holding ordinary passport, but they are doing very well in the business sector.
We must be equally careful as to our recommendations for leveraging the issuance of our diplomatic passports and service passports. There are so many people ventured in the business sector and other sectors as well, the NGOs and all that. But we cannot, of course, leverage this to say everyone should be given this, and otherwise it would be abused.
Amid the different views, Minister Tangara reassured Parliament that the agreement was specifically designed to meet the needs of diplomatic and service passport holders with the aim of strengthening the country's international relations.
Ideally, we would have loved all Gambians to have visa-free to all countries, but we have to be objective and pragmatic. The number of visitors that you will have from the UAE who will come and invest compared to Gambians going there and invest, you cannot compare them. And you know, we are on a track where we are trying to attract investment.
Osman Jata, reporting for QTV News.
The government of the Gambia, in collaboration with the World Bank, held a national consultation and stakeholders engagement forum as part of the Gambia Infrastructure Project. The initiative aims to improve the country's transport and energy infrastructure, enhancing access and resilience for both people and businesses. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
The Gambia Infrastructure Project, GIP, funded by a $100 million IDA grant, aims to upgrade rural and urban roads, improve transport connectivity, and enhance the resilience of energy and transport networks. It also seeks to modernize public services with new technologies, develop clean vehicle fleets, and encourage private capital investments. Pamo Dubalde, from the Central Project Coordinating Unit, and Matar Sise, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Works and Transport, highlighted the key components of the project and the implementation plan.
This project, it's a 5 years proposed project. The current status of the project is listed as a pipeline, which means it's still under development. It is expected to start in October. That's if we manage to go to board for approval sometime in June or July.
The Gambia Infrastructure Project is structured to deliver impact through 4 key components. The first one is resilience and safe infrastructure. This includes the upgrading of 100 kilometers of rural roads and 50 kilometers of urban roads to climate resilient standards.
Lamin Dabo, the World Bank representative, emphasized the importance of infrastructural development.
And you will all agree with me, for any socio-economic development to take place, infrastructure, be it physical, digital, and other forms of infrastructure are necessary because they serve as the backbone for other social services to be delivered.
The Deputy Managing Director of the National Roads Authority highlighted the importance of stakeholder consultation for road safety.
The key thing that needs to be captured here is not just a question of building roads. Yes, roads are important, roads really do facilitate and are the first tool or consideration in developmental aspirations. But how do we make them safer as well? How do we make them more serviceable to the people that we are planning or expecting to be using those roads? Everything that happens on our roads impact our lives, good, bad, or ugly, everything.
WAPCOS, the contracted consultant, was tasked with leading the development of essential safeguard instruments, working closely with CPCU and other relevant institutions to ensure the project aligns with national and international environmental social standards. The stakeholder engagement workshop is crucial for keeping all parties informed and involved in developing safeguard frameworks. The GIP is a significant step in improving the Gambia's infrastructure, fostering sustainable development, and enhancing the resilience, efficiency, and accessibility of the country's transport and energy systems. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
In our latest court cases roundup, we have a brief summary of 5 cases, some of which are ongoing. The cases include the latest on the death sentence handed to former APRC junta member and Yankuba Toure, and the case involving the man accused of shooting to death 2 police officers and wounding another. Here are the details.
Our 4th case takes us to the Brikama Magistrates Court, where Principal Magistrate Anna Omendi has sentenced Ousainou Toure to 8 years in prison for breaking into a shop in January 2025 and stealing 13 gallons of cooking oil worth $28,600. Ousainou Toure pleaded guilty, and Magistrate Mendy, citing rising theft cases, handed down the stiff penalty and also ordered Toure to compensate the shop owner, Cherno Sane. Meanwhile, our 3rd case is also at the Banjul High Court, where Justice Ibrahima Jaite is presiding over a major international drug case involving over 33 kilograms of cocaine seized at Banjul International Airport in January 2024. 8 suspects, including foreign nationals, are on trial. A key development came when €26,950 was admitted as evidence after authentication by the central bank. The judge has ordered that the money be kept under strict security until the case concludes and to be produced upon request by the court. It's an equally high-profile case. Usainu Bojang, accused of killing 2 police officers and seriously injuring a third in September 2023 at the Sukuta traffic lights, has now admitted to owning a mobile phone seized by investigators, an item central to the prosecution's case. His lawyer argues that the phone will support his defense, but the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, A.M. Yusuf, questioned the sudden admission. The trial judge, Justice Ibrahim Jaite at the Banjul High Court, has accepted the phone as evidence and proceedings continue.
We will now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
fii mooy fan fii mooy Inessa di place bi nga xam ne moom la ñëpp taaw place bii bépp xeetu ataaya bu baax rek bu dugg see ci dëkk bi xamal li fii rek la am bara warga bii neex na lool saf na ba pare tamit nag am gu bu neex boo ko naanee rek da ngay kontaan ci saa añ ba suur ba gëreesal li nga lekk jëndal bara ataaya bii ndax moom la ñëpp taamu gis nga sama client bii ataaya bu neex bu ne moom laa koy njëkk a jox ndax moom kat ataaya bu neex rek lay wër bara warga bii mooy warga bi gën te moo gën a saf kon nag ràññee leen ko bu baax kon daw leen gaaw ca Banjul foofu ca Inessa di place bi nga xam ni foofu rek nga ko mën a amee wholesale wala retail mu ngi foofu ci boori court house bi foofu ca Banjul wala nga daw ci bépp marché bépp supermarket bépp boutique fépp foo dugg rek di nga mën a am baara warga bii nga xam ne moom la ñëpp di wër tey baara warga moo dàq ci warga yi man maa ngi ci moom ndax su ma maree ataaya moom rek lay naan.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps with your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. Ibrahim Abba, a Backway returnee, recounts his harrowing experience of embarking on a perilous journey in search of better opportunities abroad, only to be deported back to the Gambia. As Mam Nabuka reports, Ibrahim has returned not only with stories of struggle, but also with a renewed sense of hope and determination as he strives for a better future.
28-year-old Ibrahim Abba, a former resident of Lamin, embarked on a Backway journey in 2018, leaving his home country, the Gambia, with hopes of finding work, success, and a brighter future in Europe. Ibrahima, who never graduated from high school, initially pursued a career in welding until he left the trade in 2016 due to health reasons. He then turned to the bakery business, spending a significant amount of time in the industry. However, convinced that Europe was the key to a better future, he left behind his life in the Gambia and boarded a boat bound for Spain, hoping to find something better than what he had known. Here is his account of the journey and the circumstances that led to his return.
The journey was so difficult, to be honest. Through Mali, Algeria, Morocco, I feel a lot of struggles. I face extreme hunger, thirst, abuse, trafficking, and many more. The journey ended unwillingly because I was deported involuntarily. We were caught in the seaside while trying to attempt to cross to Europe, to Spain to be specific. Then that's why they caught us and deported us back to Algeria, then from Algeria to Niger. I feel hopeless when I reach the soil of the Gambia. But I said to myself, no, I didn't steal anyone while going, and I didn't offend anyone. So if I see myself here, I have to thank God, because others went, they lost their life, they didn't come back. So me, I'm here now. I came back healthy, alhamdulillah.
3 days after returning to the Gambia, Ibrahima settled in Tangi and took up fishing to keep himself occupied. Later, he moved to Sukuta where he opened a successful corner store business. He reflects on why many youths view the Backway as their only escape and shares the valuable lessons his journey has taught him.
Many believe they can't make it here. That's the mindset we have. So we need to change this mindset to be able to combat this irregular migration. Though we can't eliminate it completely, but it can be significantly reduced if we change our mindset, create opportunities, and raise awareness. My journey gave me a lot of experience. I realized that it wasn't worth the risk, and Europe is not as we were thinking. I learned that success can be possible anywhere. With the right mindset and determination, you can achieve anything where you are.
This is his advice to young people who are considering the Backway route as a means to success.
Young people or anyone that is planning to take on this journey is to think carefully before making such a decision. Europe is not the only way to success, and it is not as easy as many of us think, and it doesn't guarantee instant success. The road may seem like an escape, but it's filled with hardship and risk. Let them invest in their future where they are through education, hard work, and skills.
In the future, Ibrahim Abba, who is also a content creator, plans to use his platform and personal experiences to raise awareness about the dangers of irregular migration. He hopes to grow his corner store business while pursuing his dream of becoming a journalist. Mamna Buka, 4QTV News.
As part of their development initiative, the Jara Karantaba Kankiling Kafo, a youth-led group in the community, donated a new ambulance to Karantaba village to improve access to the nearest health care. Here is Bakari Balde.
The community of Jara Karantaba village is celebrating after receiving a well-equipped ambulance from the village natives, both home and abroad. The villagers believe the ambulance will significantly ease the mobility challenges they had previously encountered. CDW Job, the General Secretary of the CAFO, explained how they managed to secure the funds to purchase the vehicle.
We do have meetings in Combo or we have it in Jara. So anytime we have meetings, we pay, each member paid $250. We contribute $250. So collectively, this is where we started. So along the way, we know that this project is going to cost us a lot of money. So we organized a fundraising show with Jalbakwiyate. Last year, we did it successfully. And then this year also, we did it. We have a fundraising show with Jalbakwiyate almost twice. So when we gathered that fund, we know that yes, we can go in for this, but along the way, we can also go in for another avenue of seeking money from people. Then we created GoFundMe link.
Momodu Kamara, the Deputy Governor of LRR, praised the Kankiling Kafo for complementing government's efforts. He assured them of his office's continued support and urged the village to take proper care of the vehicle.
I'm just advising for them to make sure that this ambulance is sustainable, in the sense that the maintenance is done in time, the fuel and other things. So we are so grateful, and the villagers, especially the ambulance is handed over to the VDC. Let the VDC make sure that they have strict measures. This is not a taxi, it's an ambulance. It's only for emergency purposes.
Ensa Fati, the chairman of the Village Development Committee, emphasized the importance of unity within the village and further highlighted the sustainable plans in place for the ambulance upkeep.
We have to put something on the deck. At every household have to put something on the table so that we can keep the life of the ambulance and we can see the service of the ambulance in a long run.
Suntu Fofana, the president of Kankiling Kafo, spoke on behalf of the women.
The community took this step to ensure that pregnant women in labor can be easily transported to the nearest hospital. That's why, when we contributed the funds, we purchased an ambulance for the village and to assist women and anyone else in need of its services.
Notably, the ambulance will provide prompt medical care services to patients, ensuring they receive immediate attention. As a result, the people of Jara Karantaba village will no longer have to work for hours or hire a commercial taxi to reach the nearest health facility for medical care. Bakary Balde, QTV News.
In international news, the Ecowas Parliament opened its first extraordinary session and first parliamentary session for 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria on Monday. The session will focus on adopting the Parliament's activity program for 2025 and considering amendments to the rules of procedure for the 6th legislature. Aliou Cisse reports from Lagos.
The outcomes from this session will be pivotal in strengthening legislative functions of the Community Parliament. Alongside this session is a parliamentary seminar on the theme ECOWAS at 50 and Parliament at 25, reflections of the Community Parliament towards attaining regional integration. The discussions are expected to shape policies that will further drive integration and development of the sub-region. Honorable Muminatu Ibrahima, Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, began her opening statement by thanking Nigeria for its continued support to ECOWAS institutions and the Lagos governor for hosting the session. She said the session in Lagos comes at a crucial moment for ECOWAS, which is celebrating 50 years of existence following its formation in Lagos. She urged the Parliament to continue working for a strong, united and inclusive West Africa, highlighting that despite the achievements, more efforts are needed to further strengthen regional integration.
The fact that the withdrawal of these three states does not signify a rejection of the common values that we share as West Africa. Rather, the withdrawal should be the opportunity for us to deepen our capacity to dialogue and to understand one another without giving up on the principles of solidarity and cooperation.
Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, Nigeria, emphasized the resilience and collective will of the people in shaping ECOWAS into a dynamic regional organization. He commended the Parliament for its continued efforts to advance peace, security, and unity within the region. As Lagos remains a key commercial city, he promised that his state will continue to collaborate with ECOWAS to realize its goals.
To build a brighter future for West Africa, we must, therefore, 1. Strengthen our institutions to ensure they are responsive, they are inclusive, and they are effective. Second, we need to deepen economic integration by removing trade barriers, removing barriers to investment, and to ensure that our people can move freely along the region.
Senator Jibrin Brau, the first Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, expressed appreciation to the Governor of Lagos for hosting the session and emphasized his optimism about the session's outcomes.
Projects that that are geared towards making sure that we, have good road networks, communication-wise, even aviation, have a common aviation platform.
50 years ago, the 15 founding fathers signed a treaty creating the Economic Community of West African States in Lagos on 27 May 1975. Since then, ECOWAS has served the region and continues to unite its people around the common ideals of shared prosperity. However, the community continues to face a number of challenges such as insecurity due to terrorist groups, military coups, displacement, and food insecurity. In addition, 3 ECOWAS member states have broken away to form the Alliance of Sahel States. Looking ahead, ECOWAS needs to prioritize people-centered approach to achieve the vision of a prosperous and cohesive sub-region. Reporting for QTV News from Lagos, Nigeria, I am Aliou Cisse.
Also in international news, Gabon's military leader, General Brice Oligui Nguema, has announced his intention to run for president in next month's election. Nguema took power in 2023 through a coup that ended the Bongo family's decades-long rule and pledged to transition the country back to civilian governance. Our Bob has more.
On Monday, General Brice Oligui Nguema announced his decision to run in the April 12 election, stating it was made after careful reflection and in response to your many appeals.
J'ai décidé d'être candidat à l'élection présidentielle du 12 avril 2025.
However, critics argue that the newly adopted constitution and electoral code were designed to benefit his presidential bid. Speaking to supporters in a heavy downpour in Libreville, he expressed his readiness to change the fortunes of the oil-rich country, His announcement followed months of speculation about his intentions. On Saturday, Ngema addressed the military, acknowledging their support for his candidacy and urging them to vote. A Facebook page linked to General Brice Oligui Nguema clarified on Monday that he will temporarily abandon his military uniform while running for election. Ngema's junta is credited with ending 55 years of the Bongo dynasty, with Ali Bongo having ruled by 14 years before being overthrown. Ali succeeded his father, Omar Bongo, who had been president for 41 years. Last month, Equatorial Guinea's President Obiang Nguema Mbasogo urged the Gabonese people to support Nguema for a better future. However, some opposition and civil society groups in Gabon have called on the military leader to honor his promise to return power to civilians after the transition. Despite Gabon's oil wealth and vast forest, 1/3 of its 2.4 million people live below the poverty line, according to the UN. For QTV News, I am Awa Bob.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, here's a recap of our main news headlines. In today's session of the 2025 legislative year, the National Assembly ratified the mutual visa exemption agreement for holders of diplomatic and service passports between the Gambia and the United Arab Emirates. The Gambia government, in collaboration with the World Bank, held a national consultation and stakeholders engagement forum as part of the Gambia Infrastructure Project. In our latest court cases roundup, we bring you the latest on the death sentences handed to Yankuba Toure and the cases involving the man accused of shooting to death 2 PIU officers and wounding another. We hear from Ibrahim Abba, a Backway returnee, who says his harrowing experience after embarking on a perilous journey in search of better opportunities abroad. And in international news, the Ecowas Parliament opened the first ordinary session and first parliamentary session for 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria on Monday. That's all we have time for in this edition of the news. Thank you very much for watching. Join us tomorrow for more news and have a pleasant night. Bye.